I believe in the power of the imagination to remake the world, to hold back the night, to charm motorways, to ingratiate ourselves with birds, to enlist the confidences of madmen. I believe in my own obsessions, in the beauty of the car crash, in the peace of the submerged forest, in the excitements of the deserted holiday beach, in the elegance of automobile graveyards, in the mystery of multi-story car parks, in the poetry of abandoned hotels.
Over a career spanning 50 years, J.G. Ballard has proved himself to be one of this country's most thought-provoking writers. He enjoyed great mainstream success with Empire of the Sun, which Steven Spielberg later turned into a hit film. But has also caused huge controversy, particularly with Crash, which examined the sexual potential of car crashes and inspired one publisher's reader to write, "This author is beyond psychiatric help. Do not publish." And in the space between these two vastly different novels, Ballard has created a distinctive fictional territory wholly his own. Prophetic, surreal and unsettling, Ballard's 20 novels and hundreds of short stories have together constructed what their author calls a mythology of the future. His body of work is marked by recurrent themes and obsessive symbols: motorways, car parks, high-rises, business parks and abandoned hotels. Ballard's latest novel, Kingdom Come, returns to one of his obsessive themes: the dark forces at work in the suburbs of Middle England. In Claire Holland's South Bank show film, from his lookout in the London suburb of Shepperton, where he's lived for over 40 years, J.G. Ballard talks about his vision of what he calls the only alien planet, Earth, and tells us why science fiction was the true literature of the 20th century.
I was living in London and looking for somewhere to live with my wife and children, and the sort of London suburbs were a sort of vast, mysterious plain of bricky gables and dual carriageways. The one place that I spotted, where there was a little house that was for sale, was Shepperton, and I had a vague feeling. The film studios, yes, the Malibu of the Thames Valley. And I thought, well, you know, there's a dimension of possibility there. Melvyn, pleasure to meet you.
Very good to meet you.
You look well.
That's
incredible.
Good to see you, in your favourite aircraft.
I like it. It's great. If I could rent it, I'd happily move in.
So if we get set up, we'll get moving on. You were brought up, as it were, in Shanghai. Many people watching this will know the film Empire of the Sun if they haven't read the book or know both. But in your terms, can you give us some idea of what you now feel, looking back, it was like to be brought up in Shanghai?
My parents were both English. My father and mother went out there in 1929. I was born there in 1930. I have very strong memories of this exciting, in some ways frightening city, where, as a child of one of the Western powers who ran the city, I had a sort of passport to safety at all times. I mean, I used to get on my bike at the age of 7 or 8 and pedal off through downtown Shanghai in all that sort of nightmare traffic. And this was a city plagued by terrorist bombs and bitter fighting between rival Chinese power groups. Then in 1937, the Japanese invaded China.
Shanghai is doomed. Panic seizes the population. Fear drives thousands in a desperate move to the safety of the international settlement.
War was all around us. Shells were passing over our house, so we moved to the French concession for about 6 months. Looking back, I think I saw it as part of a sort of film, almost. The kind of films that I saw, even as a very small boy, in the Shanghai theatres, had sort of leaked out into reality and were taking place at the end of my own street.
But one thing that intrigues me about what you've said there is this extraordinary charmed life you had, Jim. You were this English boy, you got on your bike, your English bike, and cycled through these very dangerous parts, and people left you alone.
I don't think my parents were aware of what I was doing. I once asked my mother, when she was a very old woman, I used to ride my bicycle around Shanghai. She said, "We didn't know." I think the reason was that the retaliation from the Shanghai police force, which was run by the British, would have been swift and brutal. so you tended to be left alone. All that changed very dramatically after Pearl Harbor, when Japan attacked America and Britain. And I suddenly noticed that nobody was treating me with any respect at all. It was get out of the way.
Almost 40 years later, when you went back to the imprint of those times to write Empire of the Sun, which became an extremely successful book, an extremely successful film, had you been wanting to write it during those 40 years?
I think when I came to England in 1946, I soon realized that I was going to spend the rest of my life here, effectively. So I thought, there's no point in trying to remember Shanghai and my life there. It's gone. Forget it. The trouble was that Shanghai kept coming back.
Bodies of Chinese lay everywhere, hands tied behind their backs in the center of the road, dumped behind the sandbag emplacements, half-severed heads resting on each other's shoulders. The thousands of young gangsters in their American suits had gone, but at the Bubbling Well Road checkpoint, Jim saw one youth in a blue silk suit being beaten by two soldiers with staves. As the blows struck his head, he knelt in a pool of blood that dripped from his lapels.
Empire of the Sun, published in 1984, presents a fictionalized account of Ballard's childhood in occupied Shanghai, revisiting the unsettling and distinctive landscapes which define his fiction. Did you deliberately omit certain things to make it dramatically more effective, or did it just evolve the way it did without you making those sort of conscious decisions?
No, I had to leave a lot of things out. It was impossible to compress 4 to 5 years of life, particularly when so much was happening. Most of the novel is set in the Japanese camp where I was interned with my parents. The biggest change I made was to leave my parents out. I made the boy, my younger self in effect, Jim, a kind of war orphan. I had him separated from his parents. A certain sort of estrangement took place during the camp years between me and my parents. And, they couldn't feed me, clothe me, protect me.
I've got some.
Also, I saw them shaken and rattled by the war. For a child these days to see its parents frightened is very rare. And when you've seen your parents sort of lose their authority, it's something they never regain, I think. So leaving them out was truer psychologically to my actual experiences.
His childhood and adolescence was marked by this absolutely profound dislocation of reality. You look at something like the killing of the young Chinese man by the 4 Japanese soldiers on the abandoned railway station, where the man is asphyxiated by a telephone wire in front of his face. A quintessential and horrific Ballard image. But this really happened to him. He really was that boy. He really did see that happen.
Human beings are extremely cruel and combative. I think my life in Shanghai in the 30s and 40s was much closer to the reality of this world than, say, living in the cosy suburbs to the west of London. I don't feel that Shanghai was such a bad preparation for